Canadians are very polite. Why? Why is there no intercity train system? The fashion in Canada stresses me out. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tari. If you're new here, you are very welcome. Please subscribe before you go, and if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for all your support. Guys, so since we're in the month of September, I just thought I should come and talk to you guys about my experience so far in Canada and kind of like the differences between the UK and Canada. Trust me, they are very different. And yeah, a little bit of the culture shock. So I will start from when I landed. First culture shock, everything is big. Like everything. Like from the airport, the drive from the airport to the house, I was just like, why the hell are the roads so big? Like the roads just seemed so big and like spacious, and we're seeing like 4-lane highways. I'm like, why so big? Like everything is big. The cars are big. Oh my god, the cars are just big. Coming from the UK where our cars are like smaller and stuff, and coming to Canada where everything is big, people are driving trucks, people are driving SUVs, and like everything is just so big. The roads are so big. It's like, why? That was my first instinct. I was like, why is everything so big? The next day I went to a restaurant, I think it was McDonald's or something, and the portions were massive. I'm like, why? Like that was the first shock for me. Like, why is everything so big? Everything's big. The roads are big. The cars are big. The houses are big. Everything is big. And I'm like confused. The next culture shock is HST. HST and GST. Those two things, for example, in the UK where an item is listed at £5 in the UK, the tax is already included in the £5. Canada, when an item is listed as $5, the tax is not included in the $5. So when you get to the till, the tax is added on, and depending on the province, you pay a different percentage of tax. So yeah, that was kind of like a shock to me coming from where I'm coming from, but yeah. The next culture shock for me as somebody that moved from the UK was transportation. Guys, the UK transport system is so good that having a car is not really a necessity. I mean, it's kind of like a luxury. And so like coming to Canada where the transportation system was like quite bad. I mean, I live in Calgary and the transport system here is not good. I only have 2 lines in Calgary, the blue line or the red line, and it's like, why only 2 lines? Coming from the UK, and I lived in London for a bit, where we have tons of lines. We've got the Central line, we've got the Victoria line, we've got so many lines. And now coming to a place where there's just 2 lines, I'm like, why? Don't people need to go places? Like, what is this? So yeah, I was totally unimpressed with the transport system. And guys, I had to manage the transport system for a year because I couldn't drive. It was a mess. It was a mess. So yeah, I think that was a huge shock for me. However, on the transportation topic, like another huge shock for me was how there are no intercity like trains. So while I was in the UK, I was living in Birmingham. I would take the train from Birmingham to London, and I would get there in like an hour 25 minutes. I'll take the fast train. I would take the train to like Aberdeen. I would take the train to different cities. In Canada, it's not like that. Apparently, they really like road trips. Why? Why is there no intercity train system? Like, I would love to hop on a train and go to like Kelowna. Like, I don't want to drive everywhere. So apparently, it's a huge thing in Canada to go on road trips and stuff. And I'm like, what if I don't want to drive somewhere and I want to go to a neighboring city? Like, even Calgary to Edmonton, there's no train line. And I'm like, it's so close that there could be a train line. I don't understand that. So yeah, that's one of the things I really miss about the UK. Being able to hop on a train and like go to a neighboring city or a neighboring town or even a neighboring country. Like, guys, I miss it so much. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, I like to drive and I like road trips, but I also would like to hop on a train and be driven once in a while, you know. So another shock for me, and I wouldn't really call it a shock, I'll say it's more like a difference, was the stores. So the stores are so different. Like the first couple of weeks I was missing like Marks and Spencer's, I was missing Sainsbury's, I was missing Tesco's. I was just like, oh, give me my Asda, give me all these stores that I miss. I was like, oh my god, I wish I could go to Debenhams. And food, oh my god, the food, oh, I was missing like Greg's. Guys, I was missing Greg's, I was missing Costa, like I was missing all these things. Granted, we have like Tim Hortons and stuff, but I was like, the pastries are not like Greg's. I don't know, there's just something about Greg's that I really liked. So I missed the stores. Here we have more like Superstore, we've got Walmart, we've got Save on Foods, we've got No Frills, and those other stores. But honestly, the difference is very clear, especially in the fashion. Guys, the fashion in Canada stresses me out. As somebody that moved here from the UK, like UK people, they're more, for lack of a better word, and Canadians, please don't come for me, they're more like fashionable. Remember the first clothing store I went to in Canada was Winners, and I was like, what is this? This is very confusing. This is like a marketplace. I'm like, how am I supposed to find clothes? And then the kind of clothes, they were not really fashionable. And I was like, well, maybe Canadians are conservative in their fashion. But trust me, shopping in the UK, 10 over 10. 10 over 10. Oh my god, I miss all the stores. Even Primark, I miss Primark. Those $2 leggings and things, oh my god, I miss shopping in the UK. Yeah, H&M, Zara. The Zara here is not as great as the Zara in the UK. Trust me, shopping and fashion in the UK is way better than Canada. I'm sorry to say. Although it's not all doom and gloom. I know there's some really amazing stores here that we don't have in the UK. Like for example, the first day I walked into a Bath and Body Works in Canada, I was like, this is what I've been missing. So I'd been to Bath and Body Works in the US. We don't have Bath and Body Works in the UK. We have the Body Shop. But oh my god, I was obsessed with Bath and Body Works when I first came. Like I think my first trip to Bath and Body Works, I spent like $200. Like it wasn't even funny. Like I was obsessed. So yeah, I think in that sense, Canada beats the UK. Another shock for me, and it wasn't really a shock, well, kind of a shock, how polite Canadians are. It's true. Canadians are very polite. They're like very polite. They always say sorry. They always say please, they say thank you, which is really nice. I mean, British people can be quite grumpy, but like Canadians are just nice. They're very like happy-go-lucky, and it's refreshing. Like everyone says sorry all the time. Like Canadians are pretty polite. I like that about them. In the workplace, they're also pretty polite, but I think, and some people are going to have my head for this, I think that they can be passive-aggressive in their politeness. So they never really exactly say what they mean. So you kind of have to like read the room. So even in the workplace, I find that they don't want to offend you. They're not confrontational. They don't like to tell you that you're not doing great. So I find that you have to learn to read the room in the workplace. You have to learn to hear what they're saying without them saying it. So it's hard to read them. So I would say that was one of the shocks that I got. I was like, ooh, they're really polite. I mean, it's good to be polite and polite, but like they're very polite. So yeah, I would say that was one of the shocks. The next culture shock is kind of like the difference in culture, like the way they pronounce things or the way they call things, or the things that are peculiar to Canadian culture. Like for example, washroom. So they call the toilet washroom. That confused me. Like I was at the airport asking a lady about using the toilet, and she was like, oh, you mean the washroom? I'm like, what the hell is a washroom? When she said washroom, I thought she was talking like bathroom, and I was like, I don't want to take a bath, but like just tell me where to go to this washroom. And so I went to the washroom. I was like, oh, so the toilet is called washroom? I'm like, yeah, that's weird. Like, so that one really weirded me out. I was like, why the hell are they calling it washroom? Anyways, I think after a couple of weeks or months, I got used to calling the toilet washroom. But yeah, that was a weird one. And then their foods are quite different. So they have poutine, and how much they love Tim Hortons. They really love their Tim Hortons. So yeah, I think that was one of the few shocks, but it wasn't that bad. Last but not the least, and probably the most important difference between the UK and Canada is the weather. Coming to Canada, I knew Canada was cold, but I didn't know the extent to which it was cold. Guys, the winters are cold, especially in Calgary where I live. The winters can be bloody. Like, the weather can go down to minus 35, minus 36. And I think the shocking part of the weather being that cold is that nothing gets shut down. Like, everything runs as normal. And I'm like, what? In minus 35? Like, coming from the UK, I remember in I think it was 2015, we had a snowstorm that, to be honest, is a regular day in Canada, but yeah, it was a snowstorm to us, and we kept seeing alerts. Like, I remember that day I got called from work to not show up at work because there was a snowstorm. I remember my niece couldn't go to school. It was a snow day, and so all the kids had to stay at home. And like, for a couple of days it was like that. Like, literally things just shut down. Like, on the TV, that's all we were seeing. Snowstorm this, snowstorm that, amber alert, red alert. Like, guys, people were sitting in the house because of the snowstorm, and it was literally like probably minus 6 degrees or minus 8 degrees. Like, it actually wasn't as cold now that I've lived in Canada. And like, in Canada, minus 35, nothing stops. Everything just continues as usual. And I'm like, minus 10, we're shutting things down in the UK. And minus 35, you people are continuing like normal. I was just like, why? How? Like, the first day it was like really cold. I expected my office to call me and tell me not to show up at work, but I still went to work that day in the freezing cold, and I'm like, why? So I guess Canadians are so used to the weather. The winters here can be brutal, and yeah, they can be depressing as well, because it's just so cold. It's too cold to do stuff. Like, it's just too cold. So yeah, I think that was one of the shocks for me. Like, I knew Canada was cold. I guess I didn't understand the extent to which it was cold. So yeah, that was a shock for me. By and large, I'll say that my experience in Canada has been pleasant. I mean, I love Canada as a country. I love the opportunities Canada gives you. I love how multicultural the country is. I love how nice and friendly the people are. I love how welcoming the people are. I love Canada. So excited to call Canada home. And yeah, if you moved to Canada from a different country, tell me your experience. How has it been? Were there any culture shocks? Was there anything that surprised you about Canada? Was there anything you read about Canada and when you came it was different, or it was unexpected, or still shocked you? Let me know in the comment section. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.